It's definitely one of the prettiest places I've ever seen.
It's perfect right now.
It's like too hot to touch.
This one, that's a fun one. So we're here at the Blue Lagoon, obviously. We made it, we found them. There they are. This Lutheran church is definitely one of the key features of Reykjavik. This is also the largest church in all of Iceland. The Church of Iceland was very much designed to represent Iceland. You can see from the curvatures and the pillars, it's made to resemble the basalt rocks that are all over Iceland, as well as many other key features. You can climb up to the top of the tower like you see here. It costs about $5 to do it per person. It is definitely worth doing though, because you can see all of Reykjavik and you get a great view of the city. It is a modern church though, construction having started in 1945 and ending in 1986. That's so hot. Like many other European cities, the houses here are very colorful. Hey everyone, today we're going to be checking out some museums and art galleries. We've already been to the National Art Galleries, and we also checked out the big church that is in the center of Reykjavik, the one you can see from miles away. It was really cool. We were able to go all the way to the very top, and we heard the bell ring right when we were there. We didn't realize what time it was, so it was incredibly loud. It like really surprised us, so that was a lot of fun to watch. But yeah, it's a great view of seeing Reykjavik. It costs 8 krona to go up there. And but there's an elevator this time, whereas I know in England we had to walk up tons of stairs, so it was nice having a quick way to get up there. The church itself is really pretty nice though. Not as decorative as obviously York or Westminster or some of the other churches. They don't have as quite as much like art or engravings. It's not as old, obviously. That's obviously probably why. Today's been going great. The weather is, for the most part, okay. It's cloudy, but not too much rain, a little chilly. Anyway guys, that's all I have for now. I'll give some more info here in a little bit. Yeah, he's right though. I bet from here you can see the northern lights really well.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
It's like I think it's like we came at a good time, but at the same time we didn't come at a good time.
Because it's like in between seasons.
Yeah.
This open air museum right outside Reykjavik was probably the coolest museum, I would say, in all of Iceland. It really just showed all the history of Iceland itself and the Icelandic people through the years, how they've advanced technologically through the years, as well as the different housing and dwellings that they lived in throughout the years. If you really want to get a good feel for how it was like to live in Iceland in the last few hundred years, as well as how fast and how far they've come in such a short time, then this is definitely the museum to come to. So this was one of the few things we could check out. Oh, there's a door there. Did he say that there? Oh, there you go. There's English. After the initial tour of about 30 minutes, you just have free range to look and browse and go through any building that you want. There was hardly anyone else there. There were just maybe 1 or 2 staff members, so it was really cool just being able to walk around and see whatever we want in our own time.
There it is. There's the money shot.
I thought there was going to be a wheel, and there's not. That's full steam ahead for sure. They have a bunch of old dated houses that they've brought to this museum to show off. So each one is like based in like the 1920s or the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and etc. And then they filled it with time period things that a average normal Icelandic person would have in their house at that time. Now this is a print shop, so this is what they had in that business around those days. This was one of my favorite buildings on this museum. It is an old mechanic shop. I just love seeing all the old tools. and how things used to have to be done. I also love the old car that you see in here. Now, I believe that this house represents what a middle-class family in Iceland would have had in about the 1950s. This is roughly what it would have looked like. You have the kitchen, the kids' room, and then the master bedroom. And that's it. That's pretty much the whole house. Hey everyone, time for another recap. Yesterday was pretty interesting. We went and checked out some art galleries. And then after that, a subscriber from Iceland had reached out and he had sent me one of his favorite museums. And so we went to check that out. We spent a good amount of time there. My battery died about 3/4 of the way through. So that kind of sucked. I do want to shout it out though. I'll put the name down in the description below, but it was the Open Air Museum. I definitely don't think it's very touristy at all. It shows a lot of like Icelandic history, just like what life was before modernization and then after. And it's actually a really big place, and it's like a farm too. So it's very family friendly, and it's kind of outside Reykjavik. So you can see a lot of the city from there. So I don't know, it was just going through all like the little houses and stuff. Just seeing Iceland through the last like 100 years and how it developed was really, really interesting. Probably the best part though was on Google it says that they start tours at 1 o'clock, but that means that they only do them at 1. You have to like pre-schedule them. And so we didn't realize that. So when we showed up, one of the people that worked there offered to give us a tour. So we had like our own private tour. He was very friendly, willing to answer all our questions and everything. So definitely, I don't remember his name, but I really did appreciate him. He gave us a lot of history and just kind of talked about like how Icelandic people are. Yeah, all around I just can't recommend it enough. It was a really cool museum. Also, shout out to the person who recommended it to us. The other cool thing that happened though was Margaret, another subscriber from Iceland, had reached out before the trip, emailed me that if I wanted to meet up with her, we could, and she would like show us around a little bit. So what actually happened was we had her in town, had a quick snack. We dropped my brother off because he had a few Guinness and was feeling it. So we dropped him off. She just drove me around Reykjavik for like 4 hours. I do feel bad that I haven't recorded some of it, but it's just the amount of information she gave of the city, and just like in the eyes of an Icelandic person who's lived here her whole life. I think she's 50, so someone who's seen the city change a lot and how quickly it's developed. I guess what I would recommend is if there's some way you can befriend a local while you're here, maybe some of those internet forum beforehand, and get that kind of tour, definitely well worth it. Yeah, it was just a very unique experience. I cannot thank her enough for taking the time to do that. She also gave us a huge bag of snacks that we'll be trying out when we go along the ring road, and hopefully I can take some of the chocolate and stuff back to try at home with Angela. So my suitcase is gonna be really packed. I just cannot thank her enough for her kindness and generosity, just overall wealth of information that she was. It was amazing. This is on a little peninsula close to our first hotel that we stayed at in Reykjavik. This area is very popular among locals for jogging, running, walking the dog, flying kites, spending time with kids. There's parks. Man, camera does not capture this. It's a great place just to spend an evening.
So there's a nice little cove here, dude.
This is leaving from our hotel. We're about ready to go up north to check out some ships. As you can see, though, Reykjavik is only a city of 150,000 people, so traffic was never bad or an issue. Also, though, as soon as you leave the city, you just immediately hit mountains. This is only about 10 minutes outside of Reykjavik, so you can clearly see the mountains from the city center, but it takes no time at all to be up in the mountains as well, which I loved. And this was absolutely some of the prettiest drive that I've ever been on in my entire life. This is one of the geothermal power plants in Iceland, and they put it in probably the most beautiful place. So about an hour and a half outside of Reykjavik, way up in the mountains here, we came across this abandoned gas station. It's a shame it's abandoned though, because it was actually in a good location, as well as just being in a beautiful place. So we found the abandoned ships. They're like way down there. Doesn't look very far in the video, but such a beautiful area though. So peaceful and serene out here. And then you just have these like 2 random ships just laying here. I guess they're just abandoned. It seems like a lot of stuff out here seems kind of abandoned though. Several of the buildings, the gas station was. I don't know what this was at one time, why everything's abandoned now. Just maybe no one lives out here anymore, but it is absolutely beautiful though. It's definitely one of the prettiest places I've ever seen, that's for sure. So So we decided to hike down to the boats. Obviously not the first people to do that, because there is a pretty clear path, it looks like. So we're just sticking to that. I don't know if you're supposed to be out down here or not, but it seems like a lot of people have. I'm sure a lot more people in the future will. So we made it down the hill, down right to the ships. They're right behind us. Pretty cool. They actually have a sign saying do not enter ship for your own risk, and apparently there's a camera, which would explain the wire, because we saw some electricity running here in a pipe, and I was like really confused. So they obviously don't want people being stupid. That was just a sign saying there's a camera. So obviously we're not gonna be stupid and try to get on or anything, but we did want to get up close and personal. And yeah, it's pretty cool to check out. I mean, we drove a little over an hour to get here, so it's nice to actually get down here and check it out. And then apparently there is a hot springy thing right in front of us. And also the soil down here really changed. It's really cool. It's like super yellow behind me. I also like, another thing, I'm assuming with maybe high tide the ship fills up, but it's just like pouring water out of its sides, so it's kind of random, but it's cool to see though. They're just way down here. I don't know, they're just kind of docked here, or some kind of like rocks or something that they put to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, but just gonna just sit here and rest away until it's worthless. But we made it, we found them. There they are. So right next to the ship there's like this little pocket here. Well, like the ships are right there, and then yeah, you got like this little hole blowing smoke, and then there's some all through the ground around here. I don't know if this whole shipyard, dockyard, it just looks abandoned. This whole vibe right now just feels like Fallout, or any of those like post-apocalyptic games. Like, I don't know, it's very different down here. There's like no one around, hardly anyone lives here. I think there's just a village. There's probably not hardly anyone around, and it's just us in the middle of nowhere with these like all this abandoned stuff. These little bitty ones, it's right next to that big one. There's probably connected, I'm sure, but like you just put your hand over it. It's like too hot to touch. You just put your hand over for just a little bit, and the steam is just so hot. But it's really kind of chilly out here, so it's a really great way to warm up your hands, but you gotta be careful. So the water from there is steaming. I don't know if you can see it. So I decided to check it out. It's actually like pouring out hot water. So that explains why there's this big huge pipe going up in the mountains. I don't know why they have it draining onto the boat, but they do. Anyway, there's actually really deep looking right next to the boat here. But it's actually pretty warm because of the water coming out of the boat. But yeah, it's just a random abandoned boat with hot water spewing out. So on the way to see the abandoned ships, we didn't realize that there's a tunnel that goes under the ocean. So now we're going back to Reykjavik, and so now we're going back to through it again. And it's really cool to see on Google Maps how it's just like on land and then not. It also gets really cool down here. So yeah, I'm gonna flip the camera around and show you guys. So right now we're underground, but you can still see we're on land, and okay, we're still on land. And we're under the ocean, which it's so weird seeing Google Maps in the water. It's pretty cool though. It's actually really long too. I think it's like 3 kilometers. And this is what the tunnel looks like. We actually just keep going deeper and deeper. They do have places to pull over in case your car breaks down. They do have SOS phones because there's like no signal down here. As you can see, there's quite a bit of traffic that comes through here.
Here's a copy too.
Yeah, it's just a unique thing that we weren't quite expecting. That's pretty cool. So we saw KFC and Taco Bell and had to stop. You know, when you see a little bit of home away from home, you have to try it out. It looks like Taco Bell, smells like Taco Bell. Definitely not Taco Bell prices by any means. The portions are a lot smaller than what we get for the same price. Even though this actually one came with chocolate, and I've never seen chocolate at Taco Bell. For me, I don't know why. It's fun to eat our normal fast food abroad because it is different. I don't know. They like Doritos and cheese. Or just in comparison though, this was like double of what it would cost at home. So here's like it's like a Dorito taco. It's good, just definitely not the same prices. And they don't have Mountain Dew, which is like a huge staple of Taco Bell. Just got out of the Taco Bell. Definitely was not the same overall. Actually, the food tasted better, but It's a lot more expensive. It was not the same, but I know you guys make fun of me for trying American fast food abroad, but it's just something that's kind of fun to do. Yeah, it was actually really nice in there, fancy, way cleaner than anyone I've ever seen, and more open and spacious. So this is the main part in Reykjavik. This is leading down to the Rainbow Road. Reykjavik has everything you'd imagine a big city would have. It has museums, restaurants, gift shops, clothing stores. It's not lacking in anything. Not only is it not lacking in anything, but it's a beautiful city too. It wasn't busy when I was filming this, but this is probably the busiest part of all of Reykjavik, especially for the tourist. Oh, okay, this is gonna be a cool shot, not gonna lie. Okay, not quite as cool because the sun's not. In the gift store we found some of the best books. You Are Nothing, I Hate Dolphins. This one, that's a fun one. The Worst of My... Okay, I don't know what that is. And then this one. So, if you guys are in the area and you come to this gift shop, you guys can get those books. This was one of the bigger gift shops in Reykjavik. I will say there's not a lot of nuance between the gift shops. If one or two of them doesn't have an item that you're looking for as a souvenir, it's a good chance that the other ones don't have it either. I would say you don't have to waste your time and go into every single gift shop because they are very, very similar. No, that's cool. I mean, I bet they give them all the time. It just seems like with the constant rain.
That's a perfect rainbow.
Yep. Walked by an American bar, so I had to take a clip of that. I really do like the bike and scooter rack though, that is designed to look like a car. This is another church that we came across in Reykjavik. The state religion for Iceland is Lutheran. This is the second biggest church in all of Iceland. I don't remember what restaurant this was at, but the gyro I remember was very good. The food in Reykjavik was amazing. They have cuisines from all over the world. You're not gonna have any trouble finding a place to eat in Reykjavik. This is the coolest shot of the church that I saw. Night with the moon behind it. I have seen really awesome pictures though with the northern lights behind it. This is our first morning back in Reykjavik from completing the ring road. We stopped at this really cool, unique coffee breakfast cafe. Obviously I had some crepes. It was decorated really cool. They had like money from all over the world there, as well as this is the famous place where they have the Star Wars bathroom. I believe the owner was an American, so it was just a really cool atmosphere. So I know like this is the random thing, but we just got to Reykjavik and my brother likes his morning coffee, so we stopped by a place called Cafe Bubble or something, and I really had to use the bathroom because like, it was a 2.5 hour drive. I found the bathroom, the Star Wars bathroom. It's like, I saw this on YouTube and I had no idea where it was, and then I just walk in, it's like, oh, this is it. So this is kind of a cool moment. So on our last day there, we decided we would go to the Blue Lagoon. As you can see, it was packed. I did like how it was located though. This is in a lava field. They had to cut through to make this path. So
Are you gonna make the video?
I'm trying, yeah. This is the quiet area. So we're here at the Blue Lagoon, obviously. I definitely would recommend. It is very touristy, but it's definitely been relaxing. We've already been here like 2.5, 3 hours, and we might be here for a little bit longer. And as also, I would recommend coming here like right after the airport because it is way closer to the airport than Reykjavik. It was like a 45-50 minute drive here. They have like a full-on restaurant and resort, and I will say the showers were not near as bad as I was thinking. The showers, like we didn't even have to get naked. I didn't see anyone get naked. Shower real quick and then like you immediately like walk out. They give you like a nice little bracelet, so like get your drink that's included with the price of the lagoon, which was $89 US, and then they have like a comfort package which you get a little bit more face mask for 100, and then the exclusive access to the restaurant, and I think a private part of the lagoon is like $370. I don't know if that's worth it compared to like the other lagoons. I'm glad we came here because this is the most famous, most well-known, most photographed. There's tons of people here with like their phones. I feel kind of dumb right now having my phone walking around the lagoon, but a lot of other people are doing it too, and it's like the only way to really get pictures out here, like a lava field is where it's at. It is actually close to a geothermal plant though. I wasn't expecting that. It's also, if you do the back way here instead of the main road, it's very pretty and you drive through. I would highly recommend going to Reykjavik that way. It's an hour and that's what we did. Or it's a great way to see a little bit of the country before going into the city. So anyway, the parts of the pool are interesting. Like some parts are cooler than others, some parts are really warm, some parts are kind of tepid. And then yeah, you have this steam like roll in. You can't see people like 5 feet in front of you, and then other moments you can see all the way across. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the lagoon. It's definitely been super relaxing and fun. The most stressful part is having my phone out here, and it's not waterproof, so I'm trying not to drop it or anything. It's been a great time and definitely enjoyed it. But at the end of the day, compared to the other ones, we didn't try the other ones, but I would say that this is probably worth the extra price, just so you can say you came here. For the most part, it hasn't been too crowded today, and the sun came out, hence the sunglasses. So it's actually been really nice and pretty out here. So anyway, those are my thoughts on the Blue Lagoon and if it's worth it or not. For our last dinner in Reykjavik, we decided to have Vietnamese as I've never had it before anywhere, and it was really, really good. This is the higher end, fancier designer brand stores are located. This is where like your Hugo Boss, Gucci, Rolex, and things like that would be.
What is this?
It's a conference center.
Oh, okay. So they have ballet and stuff here?
Yeah, I think so. This is the Harper. It is a concert hall and conference center. It was originally designed to be a hotel with restaurants and businesses. After the 2008 crash though, the government decided to fund it and turn it into a concert hall and a symphony. This is where the Icelandic Symphony performs. There are restaurants, some retail shops, and corporate offices located in the Harpa. It is mostly used as a conference and concert hall. I would say in my opinion this is the most beautiful building in Reykjavik. It is just beautifully designed. You can definitely tell that this was someone's work of passion. That this is an artist's vision come to life. This is where Iceland's Coast Guard ships are docked in Reykjavik. As Iceland does not have an army, this is the biggest ship that they have. Fishing used to be Iceland's biggest export until tourism. It is still their second though, and that is why Iceland has such an active fishing population. The dock is a really cool area just to walk around, although we didn't see any fishermen while we were there. Iceland is actually very famous for their ice cream. Although the weather wasn't the best for it, I had to try it and it was amazing. I'm sure they're looking at, oh my god, what are you doing? We definitely splurged when it came to eating on our last day in Reykjavik. I had carrot cake and a tuna fish sandwich for breakfast. It was actually almost a mistake because it was almost too much food. I could barely eat it all. I should have just stuck with either the carrot cake or the sandwich, but I ended up having both. I will say it was the best tuna fish sandwich I've ever had. This is the pier outside of the Cultural Center in Reykjavik. As you can see, the mountains are really not that far away. You can clearly see them from the city center. This is where we stayed at in Reykjavik both times, the beginning and the end. As you can see, it's right next to the church. This is called the Hotel Freyja. They also offer free bikes for all guests. Of all the places we stayed at in Iceland, this was by far the nicest. They were the most accommodating and they were willing to work with us. We changed dates up on them. They moved them around. They met our needs. I cannot thank them enough. Also, they had a kitchen on each floor. It was a shared bathroom, but again, this was definitely the nicest place we stayed at. I would highly recommend staying here because it's just the perfect location for Reykjavik. So close to downtown, so close to the church. It is just ideal. So after traversing Iceland's wild landscape, driving around 2,000 miles, all around the country, all over the ring road, seeing many wonderful sights, waterfalls, glaciers, reindeer, black sand, Diamond Beach, seeing some of the most iconic sights of Iceland, it has come to this. This is our last morning here. We're getting ready to leave to the airport within an hour. This is definitely the most beautiful country I've ever been to. I have truly enjoyed and loved my time here. Even with the bad weather, it just made it that much more unique and interesting. But like all things, it's time to go home. The vacation has come to an end, sadly. I'm ready to go home though and see Angela and the kids, spend time with my family. This trip was very exciting, very fun. Just coming here has been great. So thank you, Iceland. Really have enjoyed it. You guys were welcoming. I met some great people. And also a huge shout out to Angela for being amazing and awesome and allowing me to do a brother trip and her stay home with the kids. I know that wasn't as fun as coming here, and I will have to make it up to you. I definitely owe you for a long time. So thank you to Angela for all the hard work you've done with the family and taking care of the kids. We'll try to give you a break when I get back home. We're going to the airport here soon and heading back to America. Thank you so much for your guys' interest on this journey, and I really do hope that it turns out good for you guys and you guys enjoy it, because I really am just looking forward to sharing this trip and the moments I had with all of you. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Really love you guys' support. I don't think I probably would have traveled outside the US at this point in my life if I hadn't started the channel, and it really piqued my interest. Next stop is the good old US of A, so